Retail is absolutely central to the UK economy. We employ about 3 million people, represent about 5% of the GDP. And frankly, there isn't a community across the country where retail isn't central to its livelihood, as well as being a nexus for society to get together. But when you look forward, the high streets have changed dramatically in the last 30 years. I think they will again, and I think one of the engine rooms of that is being the move to online researching, online purchasing, and indeed I think that trip towards being multi-channel retailers is going to continue. And I suppose the other part of that is that online, and the clue's in the name, enables you to go outside of the UK with ease. So I think there's a really encouraging future for retail, and I suspect we're going to see as much change coming up as we've seen over the last few years. Right now, what I think is keeping retailers awake at night is flat-ish sales, and those sales are being driven by a blizzard of promotions and deals and offers, the like of which we haven't seen before. And at the same time, their underlying costs are growing. So people costs, property costs, costs of raw materials, they're all growing. The fact is, it is very difficult at the moment to hang on to your profitability. And the way the successful retailers are doing that is, of course, as it ever was, keeping in touch with your customer and running an efficient business. It's not easy to multitask on that scale right now. You know, over the last few years, we've seen domestic budgets come under more and more pressure, and it's created a real sea change in the way people are shopping. So I think the art of shopping has re-emerged, and people are increasingly proud of shopping to save money. Smart shopping is in. We're shopping around more, baskets are smaller, we're researching more to make sure we're making the right decision, particularly for big ticket purchase. And for smaller decisions, we're segmenting more to decide what do we want to buy for the kids, or what do we want to buy for special occasions. Let's eat in rather than eat out, etc. So, do you know, I think we're all really proud of getting the best possible deal. And I think that's going to continue. Building brand trust, I think, is absolutely central to retail. And we know those retailers that we trust in the high street. And it's funny, isn't it? When we began that trip to the .com world, we thought, you know, we'll all be very disloyal consumers because every new store is just a click away from the last store. And yet what we actually find is that most shoppers begin to trust a relatively small universe of stores online like they do offline. The fact is that for most online stores are part of a multi-channel experience of big retailers, but still there's plenty of room to getting that seamlessness, that unity of purpose, both in terms of brand experience and customer service between the online worlds and the offline world. We've still got a long way to go, and I think part of the problem is that retailers, particularly the more senior retailers, people in the boardroom perhaps, who have grown up understanding that visiting the stores on a Friday, you can see the customer service in action, you can see the availability, you can see the trolleys in the car park, the smiles on the assistant's face. Do you know, they don't similarly visit their online stores. They don't look at how easy it is to check out. They don't look at page availability. They don't look at the broken links. And because they're not doing that and bringing that back to the boardroom, I sometimes think we're not making as much progress as perhaps we should, and perhaps we won't until the next generation of retail leaders take over. That's a scary thought, isn't it? It's not very sexy, but there's no doubt about it. Efficient retail, keeping your costs down on running your business, keeping your costs down on running your supply chain is absolutely central to success in retail. But the other side of engaging well with customers, being that inch or two ahead of where customers are, and making sure from top to bottom you've got a common vision of what your retail brand is about, are absolutely central, and will sort out the men from the boys. I think getting the brand right, getting trust into your brand for each audience in an age of transparency is both essential and very difficult. I think being a cracking employment brand, being an attractive employment brand, has never been more important to get skills at all levels into your business. And contiguous with that, of course, is being a great consumer brand that the customer can look at you in so many ways, not just the traditional media, but increasingly online, blogs, social media, etc. Means that you can look into the heart of a retailer and seeing whether you trust them or not. At board level, this is discussed day in, day out. It's going to get tougher and more demanding.